Hello and welcome to WRX. My name is Wace, and today I'm really excited to finally get my hands on a Series Yellow WRX out in the wild. Now, you guys have seen last year at SubiFest, I did get a chance to drive a lot of these, but they weren't actually available to purchase. This one was purchased recently at my dealership here, Sunset Hill Subaru in St. Louis. Actually, we have a second one out as well. Somebody bought that. So there's actually two of these in St. Louis, which is kind of cool. Now, this is one of our community members here in St. Louis who's gracious enough to actually allow this car to come here and get modified, not doing anything crazy, actually throwing on a Cobb access port, a Takeda air intake, which I've actually never seen one in person, although I've seen a lot of these online, and I got a couple of other community members who also have one installed, and it's getting a flex fuel kit. All stuff pretty easy. Now, come Monday, we're also gonna be putting it on a dyno, and it's gonna be getting a nice flex tune as well, so I'm gonna be putting that part in this video as well. So it's gonna be nice to see what just those three mods can do to a practically bone stock WRX. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to be doing a full detailed installation. If you are interested in knowing how to install the flex fuel kit, definitely look at the video down in the description below. I have a whole video on that. The Takeda air intake really shouldn't be much different than any other intake. There's only two mounting brackets for air intakes in these cars, and then this one does come with a cold air box. That's going to be a little different, so I'll definitely put that in the video. Goodness, it's been a while since I've done an unboxing of an actual part, because I haven't had a part in forever. So we got the Takeda cone filter. We got that really cool box that you can kind of see through. I really like that. I look forward to seeing how that goes on. And you got your pipes. And actually, oh, interesting. It comes with its own duct scoop thingy, so we don't have to use the OEM one. Overall, this should be a fairly simple installation. You got a coupler, you got two bands. As easy as an intake goes. All right, something that I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna get this set up first. I don't wanna do this later, because there's a couple of things that I learned about this as I was doing it the first time around. Now that this is actually put together, so what this kit did not come with, looks like we opted out for the low pressure sensor, that's totally okay. It's not really that necessary for everybody. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna revert over to the car and get the intake installed, and then we will put this right after. What I didn't anticipate was that the car was gonna be hot. The car is very hot, so I have to be very careful, which you guys know how good I am when it comes to being careful. For intake, I did actually have to go underneath the car. Was working on this. Here you can see the coupling. It's a rubber coupling going into the turbo inlet, and then you just have the bolt that holds the OEM intake in right here. That goes in as well. And now from here we should have easy access to everything from the top. So don't make the mistake I made, which I just realized. Put the MAP sensor in first, because now since I've already put the intake on, this is going to take a little bit of ingenuity to get the MAP sensor screws on, which I can do, but do that first, because it does come with an extension. The MAP sensor does come with an extension so that you can get to it from up here. This tool came in. This is the nice thing about working at a shop is my buddy actually has this tool. This helped tremendously. Otherwise, I would have had to take the intake out, the intake tube out again. That would have been really annoying. But it would have been my fault. There's three pieces we need to remove from the factory air box. We need this piece and these two pieces, because we have to transfer these onto the Takeda air box. Now, I would suggest putting the screws that go on here from inside because it's going to be much, much easier versus having to drop them here. You can tighten them using these holes, but I would definitely put them here and just keep it like this and then place the intake. Now, I'm going to go get the filter on first. All right, so fast forward to now Monday. The car is on the dyno here. Adam from Ecotech is going to be tuning it this morning with a flex tube. Now, something I want to say, I did end up skipping the recording the whole installation of the flex fuel kit because time was a factor, and that intake actually gave me some pretty interesting troubles. I pride myself in always reading the instructions on everything I install, regardless of whether I've done it before or not. In this case, I hadn't, but those instructions were actually backwards in my opinion, because what it asks you to do is put the whole thing together and then at the very end stick the air box in and have it somehow clip over the rubber that's on the filter itself. I was not able to do that. I ended up having to take the whole thing out, put it together outside of the car, and then snake it into the car, which was 100 times easier. So if you are looking at those instructions, I would say just do it the way I did it. And I'll show you guys a bit more what I'm talking about here. There's a part of it that it just wouldn't clip, and it was, I gotta say, very annoying. The second thing about it was the ram filter, the ducting or whatever, would not go into the air box after I put the air box in the car. That was also really annoying. But all that aside, I've heard a lot of great things about that Takeda intake. Today we're gonna find out. This tune is gonna be a 93 tune, plus a flex for some ethanol, so we got about 4 or 5 gallons of ethanol here. And other than that, the car's practically stock, so we'll see exactly what kind of power this makes. Listen to that baby roar. All right, ready to roll. All right, guys, Dyno Day's pretty much done. This is still practically a brand new car. I mean, it has barely 500 miles on it, and it's still running factory oil, so we kept it on a conservative tune because this is a friend of mine's car, and of course, she's got a family. She just wanted a bump up in power. So with the Takeda intake, we made right at 285 on 93 and about 320-ish on E40, which again, very conservative tune, but the nice thing is, you know for a fact this thing is gonna last pretty much forever. I know a lot of people wonder, like, you know, with these different power levels, how do you get a little bit higher? How do you get a little bit lower? You can definitely make more if you're willing to take that chance, and not everybody is willing to do that, and honestly, not everybody needs to. So if you're looking at the Takeda intake, it's actually a pretty cool intake. I am actually a big fan of the box itself. Again, installation could go a little bit different. Again, I'd say read the whole instructions backwards. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found it informative, and I'll see you guys in the next one.